Hey there, how are you? This is Alicia at newvaadvice.com, and I am here with some more virtual assistant business tips. Today's a little bit different. I'm not taking something that I found in my inbox that people were asking about, but something else that's near and dear to my heart and just felt like was really important for me to share today. I was thinking about it as I was getting ready to take my little guy to preschool this morning and just felt like I had to share this today because there's somebody that might need to hear it. Today, I'm going to be talking about overcoming adversity when starting your virtual assistant business. So what do I mean by that? Well, there might be something inside of you that telling you that this is really right for you. You want to start your own business. You have skills that you can turn into services. You need to learn more about it, but you really want to do this and you want to take this chance and make it happen. But there are these things that keep getting in the way. Maybe you're having internet problems. Maybe your computer broke. Maybe you're not getting the support from friends and family that you thought you would, and they're not as excited about this as you are. They're just not sure about you starting a virtual assistant business. So you feel like it's right for you, but there are things getting in the way. Well, I thought I would share my own personal stories of overcoming adversity to start my business and kind of how that progressed to where I am now. Share pieces that kind of stopped me in my tracks and made it hard for me to move forward, and then what I did to push through that to continue to move forward. So I'm going to start at the beginning. Some of you may know my story, but when I started out my virtual assistant business, I was 7 months pregnant and permanently laid off of work. So I don't really feel like that's the best place to start when you're looking to start a new business venture. It wasn't what I was thinking at the moment. I didn't have these plans in my head. I was working the job that I had. I was very good at it. I didn't feel passionate or inspired about it, and I felt like I should be doing something else, but I wasn't going to make a move at that point because I was pregnant and I wanted the job security, the insurance, everything that comes with that, knowing that I was bringing a child into the world. And I thought, my husband and I talked about it, and maybe in so many years when our child was in school full time, I would start to pursue and research to find out what I really wanted to do with the rest of my life. So those are my thoughts, and then it just happened. The economy was bad and the business I worked for completely went under. So everyone was out of a job. And I was in a bad place. 7 months pregnant is not the time to have that happen in your life. You don't want to be stressed. I wanted to enjoy my pregnancy and be excited and think about designing the baby's room and having a shower and all those fun things. And while I did do those things, it was constantly in the back of my mind that I didn't know what I was going to do for work. We really couldn't afford to live on one income. So how did I overcome that situation? Well, I decided this was my wake-up call and the time that I was supposed to pursue what I really wanted to do with my life, and got serious about researching and finding out, looking at the skills that I had and what I could do with that. So I got serious about it. Knowledge is power. So I started researching, got everything I could get my hands on online, and there were scams, but there was also, when I weeded through, some really good information and good people that I could trust online to give me information about what kinds of jobs or careers were out there. So that was the first part of it. Also, I had a really supportive husband. That was big for me, that he was behind me in trying to make this work and looking to create a career for myself online so that I could stay at home and raise my son, because that's what we really both wanted. So I was really lucky to have that support from him. He didn't understand it all. He was worried that someone was going to sucker me into something, but he saw how excited and passionate I was about trying to make that a reality for us. So he backed me. And then the other thing I did was I created a plan myself. I kind of did a rough draft business plan without really realizing I was making a business plan at the time. Just kind of wrote out my goals and what I wanted, and a 6-month, 1 year, 3-year plan of how I saw this all going. And then I made a schedule. Now at that time I was pregnant and I had no job. So it was a little easier to make a schedule for myself because I could kind of work on things whenever I wanted. But instead of just throwing it out there to the wind, I set times for myself that I would sit down and work on my business. I wanted to give myself and this business the time that it deserved. I wanted to be professional about it. So I set some hours for myself. And I think that was one of the best things I did up front, because it helped once the baby came along, because then life was kind of chaotic and it was a little different. I was working around feedings and all the new mom stuff and the lack of sleep. So I would work in between feedings, and sometimes early in the morning and sometimes late at night. And for example, I know some of you are still working a full-time job and you're trying to fit this in. So that's one of my tips to you, is creating some kind of schedule of the time that you're going to spend working on business stuff is really important. So moving on, I started creating my virtual assistant business and actually got a client or two, and I was really excited about that. So to me, those were kind of signs that this is what I was supposed to do and I was moving in the right direction. At that time, I was receiving some help from unemployment because I had been laid off from my full-time job. So I was receiving some benefits and assistance from that. So at that point, we were kind of relying on that little bit of income that was coming in, because other than that, we were relying on my husband's income. I only had 1 or 2 clients, so this unemployment money really helped us. So when I started the business, I sent in my income to the unemployment office and claimed whatever I made. I felt like I was following the rules because I read up on it and said, if you end up making any money or working part-time, you need to claim that money and let us know about it. And I did that. And then one day got a letter in the mailbox saying that my unemployment was going to be terminated and I owed them $3,000. Well, it's hard for me to describe how I felt at that moment. I basically came in and collapsed into a pile of tears, thinking that everything I was working so hard for was just slipping right through my fingers. And how could I possibly pay them this money that I didn't have, because that money went to our bills? And didn't I deserve that money? Wasn't I owed that money? Isn't that what I paid into unemployment for all these years? So I did a little venting and crying and got all of that out, and again leaned on my husband, who was just as scared as me, but held me up through that time. And what else did I do to overcome it? Well, I prayed about it, and that's important to me. I looked for guidance, and then I calmed down and I got the facts. I called the unemployment office and talked to someone and asked them to explain to me what was going on. It turns out that where I am in the state of Pennsylvania, again, you need to check for your own area to see what applies to you. I'm not giving you advice on how to handle that situation, but where I live, once I started my business, I was considered self-employed, even though I wasn't really making very much money because I had just started. But to them, I was considered self-employed. Therefore, I received no assistance from them. So they cut me off, and then they wanted me to back pay all of the assistance that I received. So I looked at the facts for that, and then we scheduled a hearing to discuss with them what was going to happen from there, which basically, once they heard my story and understood that I was coming from a full-time job and just starting this business and looking at the income that I made, they realized the ratio of that plus what I owed them, I wasn't able to make a living off of what I was making at this point, and they agreed that I did not have to pay that money back. So there were a couple lessons in there for me. Number one was I thought I was doing the right thing by unemployment, but I just didn't have all the facts. So, the law doesn't care about what you don't know. You need to educate yourself. So when it comes to starting your business, you need to learn everything you need to know about the business end of it so that you're keeping it on the up and up. doing the right thing and reporting what you need to report. So that was a lesson for me. And also just to not give up at that moment. It would have been so easy for me just to say, you know what, this is it. I can't do this. Things are stacked against me. This business isn't supposed to happen. And I give up. But I didn't give up at that point. Again, I felt very strongly that this is where I was supposed to be. I enjoyed the work that I was doing for those clients, and I loved the fact that I was able to be home and take care of my baby. So moving on in my career, now I was at a place where I no longer had that unemployment money coming in. And yes, I had those 1 or 2 clients, but that wasn't quite enough to live off of yet. So now I was in a new situation. I had no unemployment money to fall back on, and I only had a client or 2. So what did I do to overcome that situation? Well, I learned some lessons there as well. Number 1 is to never stop marketing your business. I realized that since I had those 2 clients, I was so excited and gung-ho that I just kept doing things in the background, working on my business and tweaking my website, and then doing the client work for those 2 clients. But other than that, my marketing had kind of slacked off because I got so excited that I had these clients and I was busy that I stopped marketing. So I didn't have anyone in that funnel. I didn't have any prospects. And that was a big lesson for me to learn. Don't ever stop marketing your business just because you have a couple clients and you feel like you're very busy. You need that. The next thing I did was take a part-time job in direct sales for a home party line. Basically a company, I'm not going to name names, but I did enjoy working for the company. I sold jewelry, and I went to people's homes, and we had little parties and they looked at the jewelry. And it wasn't something I wanted to do. Direct sales just isn't for me. I think it's great for women who can make a living off of that, and I'm not knocking it at all. It wasn't for me. But I did what I had to do to bring extra money in for my family because I knew that's what we needed, because my bigger goal was to make this business work and still stay at home with my son. So doing this direct sales business really helped with that because I could work around my husband's schedule and either have him or someone else be home with my son so that I could go do these parties. And even in a couple instances, it was women who had kids and wanted me to bring him along so that he could play with the kids. So that was a big step I took in the way I overcame the whole I don't have any money right now situation. The other thing that I did was reached out online for people that I felt that I could look up to who were where I wanted to be in business. One of those people was Kelly McCausey with Solo Smarts. I had been following her online for a while, reading her blog. I liked the way she approached things with business and life. I could relate to her backstory, and I was really inspired by where she was at that point in my career, and wanted to, basically you follow those people who are doing it right, and you model things after them so that you can learn and you can move forward. So I'd been following her for a while and reached out to an email she had sent to her list, and she accepted me into the Solo Smarts forum, which was a big life changer for me. There are a lot of really smart people in that forum that are all different points in their career path. So there were people that I could learn from, and then eventually as I moved forward, people that could help in different ways. You have different questions throughout your career path, different questions when you're first starting out versus when you have a number of clients and you're ready to move to the next level. So I learned a lot from that, and I'm glad that I put myself out there and reached out because it was an amazing resource. And I wrote more about that. I'll give you some resources and links at the end of this video, telling you how you can get involved in Solo Smarts as well. So those are the ways that I handled the not making enough money part, how I overcame that. Then we fast forward to a little further on in my business when things were going very well. I got to the point where I then decided to create this business, newvaadvice.com, because I realized through everything that I went through starting my VA business that the thing that I loved the most was helping other women kind of navigate it and get through and help them decide if it's right for them, and then get their footing to get started and find trusted resources. And that's why I made newvaadvice.com. And I was so excited about that. Yes, it was a lot to take on because I was still trying to run my VA business and raising a small child and everything that comes with that. But I just felt so strongly about it that this was the next step that I had to take. So I created that business as well, and I'm still running both. And then I had the amazing opportunity to be featured in an article for Women's World magazine about women who work from home. This was a huge deal for me. I was so excited to be part of this. It also involved a full-on photo shoot in New York that I got to go to. They did my hair and my makeup, and they had a whole background set up, and it was just such a fabulous opportunity, and I felt so lucky and blessed that I had the chance to do that. So of course I wanted to share that with everyone, family, friends, colleagues, others in the industry, and also with the New VA Advice community to encourage women that, you can come from anywhere and do anything if you really truly feel it and go after it. So I wrote a blog post about that. I was noting it on social media and was feeling really great when the article came out and so excited. And then one day logged on to Facebook and found that someone else in my industry was kind of bashing me for it. She didn't put my name in the post, but it was really clear that she was talking about me. And she felt that the way I spoke in the article, or the way that it was slanted, is I was telling people that anyone could do this for a living. It's so easy. Look, I did it. Anyone can do it. So needless to say, I was really hurt by that. And then I noticed that she pulled me from her mailing lists. I always received updates about her latest blog posts, and I also supported the products that she sold and as an affiliate, and supported them at newvaadvice.com for new VAs because I felt like she was a good source for them. She pulled me from her mailing list, and she pulled me from her affiliate program. So that was all really hurtful. I was at a really high point, feeling really good about what I had accomplished, and in just one moment, reading a Facebook post was completely deflated. So how did I overcome that? Well, first of all, I want to say that 98% of the experiences that I've had with the VA industry have been nothing but great and positive. I have always felt that other VAs are not my competition. We are there to help each other and lift each other up. I have found partners, referral partners, joint venture partners in the VA business. And I always encourage people, when you're creating your business, to look at what you specialize in, but maybe you are going to network with other VAs who specialize in different things. So start keeping a list of that, because it's really nice to be able to refer people to each other. If you refer someone to another VA, she's going to remember that, and very well likely may in turn refer someone to you when she gets a request for something that she doesn't specialize in. So I feel like that's a really good point. And then when I switched into mentoring coaching phase in the VA business, there are a lot of other people who do that as well, but I got nothing but support from other women. So this one bad, situation, I didn't want to let that cloud everything that I knew about the VA industry, because I had received so much positive support before that I didn't let that overcloud that. The other thing that I did was lean on my husband again, because he gets to, be my listening ear about everything that's going on. It's kind of different when you don't have, you're not in a workplace situation where you have other coworkers and you can stand around and talk about that and lean on somebody and talk about it when times are tough. So my husband does that for me, and I'm very grateful for that. I also turned to the network of online entrepreneurs that I knew for support. Sometimes it's okay if you need to vent about things in the proper way and in the proper places, and get the support that you need. I have some good friends who do online work like I do, and so they get it. And so I leaned on them, and they listened to me. They also supported me and lifted me up and reminded me that one person's opinion did not make up who I was. So that was really important to me. And then I tried to take the emotional aspect out of it and really look at what she said about my business and see if there was any truth in that. So I started combing my site to make sure that I wasn't giving anyone the impression that just anyone can just start a business and it's so simple and you don't need any experience or skills and you can just do this. And started going through the articles and the resources and products that I provide to make sure that I'm really clear that it takes time and effort, and you need to have some kind of base skills to start with. And I also give resources of where you can learn more. There are online classrooms that can teach you more about different skills, and made sure that I provided that on my site. So again, I didn't let that one person's opinion overshadow everything that I did, and realized that I knew in my heart my goal with this business was to uplift and encourage other women. Not saying that just anybody can do this and not have any skills, but learning how to take those skills and turn them into services and giving them the encouragement that you can do this. I know that it's hard. There are going to be roadblocks. There are going to be people who are not supporting you in the way that you thought they would. There are going to be things that happen that it's one thing after another, and you're just not sure if you were cut out for this. So I'm hoping that me sharing my personal story today kind of helped you know that if you're feeling the same way, there are ways to get past it and overcome it. And I just want to make sure that I give you resources and support that you need as well. Go to friends and family if you need to lean on someone. And if you don't have that, find the support online like I did with groups and forums. Set up a plan and a schedule to make this a reality. Instead of just saying that you would love to do this, take action on it and take steps to make it happen. So let me give you a couple of resources and things that I mentioned throughout this video that can support you in overcoming adversity. The first is a free course that you'll find at newvaadvice.com called Shedding the Employee Mindset. You can type any of those words in the search box on the site and you'll find that. Again, it's a free e-course where I kind of go through the process of taking you from having an employee mindset to having one of an entrepreneur. Another resource on my site is a blog post in the Getting Started series that talks about overcoming your fear. We go into knowing your why and making a plan to make things happen. So you could even type the word fear in the search box on the site and you'll find that article. There's another article I wrote just recently. I believe it's called How I Keep Calm and Stay Sane. Basically, it's giving you those resources for the groups and online forums that I get support the most in order to move forward in my business. And lastly, don't forget that I do offer free 15-minute phone mentoring sessions. Whether you live in the US or outside, we can do a phone call or we can Skype. 15 minutes, honestly, can be enough time for you to get clarity and confirmation that this is what you need to be doing and help you move forward. So don't forget to take advantage of that. You can click on the mentoring tab on my site or type in mentoring in the search box and you'll find information on how to sign up for a free 15-minute mentoring session with me. So I hope that these tips helped you and something in my story maybe resonated with you. Like I said at the beginning, I just felt like I had to record this today. It might have been something that someone needed to hear. So if that was you, I hope this helped you. If it did in any way, feel free to leave a comment, share, like this video, or subscribe to me on YouTube so that I can bring you more tips and encouragement. And I hope you have a great day.